You log on for the day like usual and head to the commons. Perhaps you've already spent your energy, whether it be gardening or through pet training, and you find yourself out of things to do. So, you just start spinning in a circle, and you spin and spin and keep on spinning. You keep logging in day after day because you feel some sense of obligation to, almost like you have to. If this phenomena describes you, allow me to share with you a few ways I've discovered to help keep away the burnout longer and to keep you enjoying this wonderful and magical game. This is how to fall in love with Wizard101 all over again. Tip number one I have, honest to God, might sound super simple and super easy, but it's just to not burn yourself out. Most people, especially if they're creating a new wizard, are so quick to go to this guy, purchase a bajillion monstrous TCs, and call it a day. And they'll rinse and repeat with every single wizard that they have. No wonder this game feels so stale and so monotonous to you when you're repeating the same things over and over and over again. Now, of course, there's always going to be an efficient way to play the game. There's always going to be a faster way, but it doesn't mean it is the right way to play the game. If you wanted to, you absolutely could never use a 7-pip AoE again in your life and still get through this game just fine. I feel like people become so consumed over the fact that they need to complete everything so fast and so quickly and do this as efficiently as possible, all this stuff, that they forget to actually enjoy the game at its core. Relax, take your time with this game, and play it how you want and at your own pace. The next tip I have kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with tip number one, but it's to give yourself something challenging to do while you're playing this game. If while you're questing, you find yourself frequently pulling up YouTube on a side monitor, scrolling on your phone, being preoccupied with something else, give yourself something to make this game the center of your focus and your attention. How I did that, and the reason I have this channel and am currently working on it right now, is this character I have right now. This character is from my solo balance series, where I went through the entire game with no additional help, no additional crowns items, and completely soloing the entire game's content. Now, I'm not saying it has to be extreme, although some would consider this quite a modest challenge. It doesn't need to be extreme, it doesn't need to be drastic. It could even be as simple as, when you start a new wizard, don't give yourself the, quad damage pet or the double resist pet. Allow yourself to experience the challenge and the grind that this game has to offer you. Some of the most fun I've had on this game, especially recently, has been literally trying to create new challenges and pull myself out of this box that I've had when playing this game, that I need to complete everything so quickly. For example, this one wizard took me about 5 hours to get through Wizard City. Not because I was doing anything wrong or bad, but because I tried to get through the game without fizzling. Arbitrary things that might seem so simple to you, that might be like, why would I ever do it? Just give it a shot. You might have fun. Third tip I have for you also kind of goes hand in hand with the second one, but it's to allow yourself to enjoy the challenge that this game does have. Listen, I will be the first to say that Wizard101 is not a challenging game at all. Some of the later and endgame content, when you get to bosses that cheat every other turn, every other spell you cast, they'll cast a cheat, that stuff requires a more thought and more focus, I agree. But the base game, and I want to say the first 2 arcs, even probably the 3rd arc, is not that challenging, all things considered. Like how I mentioned earlier with people rushing to get monstrous enchants and things to help them speed through the game, I feel like that's where you miss out on the most enjoyment. When you're at level 10 and your only spell is Locust Swarm and you're doing 300 damage, that is appropriate damage for your level. You are not supposed to be doing thousands of damage and clearing things in 1 or 2 turns at such a low level. Let yourself fizzle, let yourself not get power pips, let yourself enjoy this game, enjoy the lower levels, because pretty soon you're gonna get perfect accuracy with Darkmoor gear. You're gonna crit every single spell, you're gonna get a power pip on every single turn, and then the game starts to get stale again. Yeah, this spell might have really horrible damage and you only get it as far away as frickin' Avalon, but experiment with it. Lean into the gambits. Play with the gambits. Try and come up with new, unique ways to manipulate your turn, your enemy's turn, the spells they use. Don't view the early game as a chore. View it as part of the process and a stepping stone for you to eventually, yes, get more powerful and more strong. The next tip I have for you is to take breaks. Again, before you roll your eyes and say, listen, bud, that's the simplest thing you could have ever told me on planet Earth. It sounds simple when you hear it and when you listen to it, but actually try and put it into practice. I mean this step in one of 2 ways. Number one is when you are playing this game, take a break, go outside for a walk, get some water, feed your cat and your dog and go play with them a little bit. But I also mean in the other sense of take yourself out of this game and away from this game if you feel the burnout coming on. For example, this wizard I have, the one I showcased earlier, has been at level 100 and at this quest in Chrysalis for about 2 weeks now. No, it is not efficient. It is not going to get me to Darkmoor and the max level content the quickest, of course not. But I noticed that I was starting to play this game out of habit and not out of enjoyment. You can take this tip and literally apply it to anything. You could play Valorant too much if you enjoy playing Valorant, and no shit, you're gonna burn out from that game as well. All is to say that you're not a robot and you can't force yourself to like something or play something, and give yourself the space to be able to take a break and take some time, especially for yourself. Tip number 5 I have is to interact with the community. If you are rather antisocial or this idea just turns you off entirely, I don't even mean like raiding the Wizard101 Discord and flooding everyone's DMs, you know, to be like, play Wiz, and taking it up to Twitter and like praising this game and putting on a show for it that way. I literally also mean in the sense of go to the team up kiosk and help some players out in this game. You will find some really awesome and really honestly appreciative players, especially if they are newer or on a lower level wizard, if they're trying to receive help and you go out and help them. You definitely and very easily will make new friends, you'll get connections, your views will be broadened. Hell, you could even find a group of friends to play this with or to chat about, and that also will get you excited for this game when you have friends that share your same interests. Nowadays, this game's community is filled with a lot of people that have loved this game for decades at this point, so find somebody else that shares that same passion and some same views as you, and you will find that your enjoyment literally will go from 0 to 100 like overnight. Number 6 tip I have is to log on every single day or every time you do with a purpose. If you are logging on every day because it feels like a chore and, for example, oh, my energy is probably full, I need to go spend it, yeah, you're gonna get burned out really fast. You need to give yourself things to be excited about and objectives for you to complete. Even if a few days or weeks go by in a row where you are just logging on for your energy, make a list, write something down. Say, hey, today I'm going to bang out 20 quests of Azteca. I'm gonna get through a 4th of Chrysalis. It could even be as simple as I'm gonna get through my world's crafting quest or try and scout for reagents to help get that done. Do not turn this game from an enjoyment and a hobby to a chore and a detriment. The final tip I have for you guys today, and tip number 7, will be to enjoy this game's side content. This kind of lumps together all of my tips into one mega tip, but not every time you log on do you need to be power questing through the game and completing a whole world in one sitting and in one day. Especially if you're an older player to this game and you've never tried it, walk into the PvP arena. You will find things that you've never known about this game and perhaps might find some enjoyment in doing that. I especially mean this tip for the things like cantrips or perhaps fishing if you've never gotten into it so deeply yourself. But the number one thing I could personally recommend that's honestly going to be a lot of fun for you is going to be monstrology. Sure, it is a lot of going into combat and defeating the same mob over and over again, but you would not... Why is my lion like changing asset colors? Did you see that? Anyways, especially if you are a house decorator, which is again yet another side content item you could get into, but you will find loads more options for you to be able to customize this game, introducing also house guests and different strategies you can use with monstrology. If you like to solo this game, monstrology can offer a new way for you to get extra aid with the help of minions and allies that you otherwise never would have had access to. It is also just like a collector's thing. Like if you truly enjoy 100%ing something, each and every single mob also has its own description. There are limited time ones. For example, the Halloween mobs in the tower here in Ravenwood that spawn have their own section of monstrology and their own lore or text speech about them. It is such a mindless activity too. Even if you are just questing through the game, you will find that a lot of the mobs you are literally already fighting, and a lot of, you can collect a lot of their animus for and pretty soon rack up a lot of good house guests, treasure cards, stuff like that. That will just about sum up the list of some of the things I've had for y'all today to help keep you enjoying this game just a little bit more. If you have some ideas yourself or some strategies that you employ to help keep you focused and engaged with this game, I'd love to hear them down in the comment section below. We are now on the road to hitting 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which will allow me to definitively say that I have turned this from a hobby into a profession, which is my ultimate goal at the end of doing YouTube. If you would like to help make that a reality for me, please be sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Not to be like a total nerd emoji, but just about 85% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. If you learned something new today, enjoyed the video, enjoyed me, or just feel like helping a soul out, especially in the holiday times, again, subscribing, liking, comment, any of that jazz is one of the first ways that you would be able to do that for me, and I truly do appreciate it. I don't want to talk your ear off more than I probably already have already, so yeah, that'll be all for today's video. Stay awesome, stay cool, and I will see you wonderful souls in the next video. Bye-bye!